Now, verse 11. When Jesus heard it, he marveled and said to them that followed, Verily I say unto you, verily I say unto you, I have not found so great faith. No, not in Israel. Can you see that? When Jesus saw the demonstration of faith in that man, Jesus said, Wow, I've not seen a faith as great as this in Israel. Can you see that? So the man has a great faith. You see, the problem you have is not that now you are rich. Because some people, what they need is money. Once they get money now, they start becoming inconsistent. And then by the time you ask them, you used to follow teachings before. What is happening? They tell you, God is helping us. The company is growing, we're having more customer, we're having more contracts, I just have a lot of meetings. That's not your problem. Oh. The problem you have is not that now you have gained admission. That's not your problem. Are you there? That's not your problem. Your real problem is that you have not really encountered God. You have not, your problem is God is not real to you. This centurion, you know how great a centurion is? Somebody that have about 100 soldiers under him. Can you imagine the kind of house that man will have? Are you there? Just imagine you have about 100 soldiers at your command. And apart from that, he has servants that ministers to his needs and take care of his house. Those ones we can't even count their numbers. A man that is as great as that. Are you there? Jesus looked at him and said, I've not seen such a great faith in Israel. So the problem you have is not that now you have gained admission. Because that's what some are using as excuse. We have been so busy in school and, there's no time. There's no time to even listen to teaching. There's no time to pray. This is our department now. We are just so busy there. That's not really your problem. Your problem is just that God is not real to you. Yes. When God becomes real to you, you will discover that the higher you go, the stronger you become. If the higher you go, the weaker you become in the things of God, then it's a sign that God is not real to you. You see, that your marriage is not your problem. Your problem is just that God is not real to you. So this, I'm a married woman now, I'm a married man now. So, there's no time. There's no time to really study the Bible. There's no time to pray. There's no time to follow teachings. I'm a married man now. I'm a married woman now. That's not your problem. Are you there? Although you may be using that as an excuse, but I say to you, verily, verily, I say to you, that is not your problem. Your problem is that God is not real to you. That's it. I'm pregnant now. Pregnant people, you can't expect a pregnant person to still be sitting and be reading Bible like that. The way this baby sometimes, you don't even have time. You don't have time to do all those. Pregnancy is not your problem. The problem is that God is not real to you. So somebody is saying, Lord, I know when I become rich, I will serve you more. Money is not your problem, okay? Because even if you have the money, you may not act like this centurion. This centurion is very rich, very wealthy. Yet Jesus looked at him and said, I have not seen so great faith in Israel. So whether you are poor or you are rich, that's not your problem. If God is real to you, your wealth will not stop you from being consistent. If God is real to you, your poverty will not stop you from being consistent. If God is real to you, whether you are employed, your job or your unemployment will not stop you from being consistent. You see, the country you are in is not your problem. Because of people are saying, the nature of this country is safe. You don't even have time to follow God. Your country, the system of your country is not your problem. The problem you have is that God is not real to you. It's this family that I came from. If not from this kind of this kind of family, I just found myself. If I have my way, I would not have come through this kind of family. Your family is not your problem. The problem you have is that God is not real to you. It's until God becomes real to you. That's when consistency start making sense to you. That's when you begin to see consistency as something that should be done by you. Are we together? So you have to take note of that. Some of those things we'll see as problems. They are not problems. If this centurion can demonstrate great faith, then you don't have excuse. You don't have excuse. It's because of all these friends, the way they influence people, and then it's, you don't have excuse. Just because of the things we see these days, ah, especially those things online, they won't even make you focus on God. Those things are not your problem. Are you there? The real issue is that God is not yet real to you. Are you there? So when God becomes real, consistency will start making sense to you. When God becomes real, consistency will become a lifestyle. Are we together? That's it. This centurion, he has many excuses to give. A lot of excuses that could have looked genuine. Are you there? For not having great faith. Could have said, sir, are you there? That means it was even that great faith that he had that made him come to meet Jesus. He did not send anybody. Meanwhile, if he had sent soldiers to bring Jesus honorably, that could have still been seen as, you could have still seen that as honor. Because it's another form of honor that a wealthy man sends soldiers as your entourage. Are you there? To protect you and to bring you to his place. That's a kind of honor. That's a high honor for. Are you there? It's a high honor. But the centurion gave Jesus the highest honor. He did not send anybody. He came to Jesus himself. No wonder he came. Why? Because God is real to him. Are you there? When God is not real to you, everything that has the name of God will be fake. There are people that will say, all those pastors, all of them are fake. Christians, who are Christians? All of them are pretending. I know what I'm saying. They will be talking like they have evidence. Of course, we know that there are wolves in sheep's clothing. We know there are people out there who are faking things, who are not of God, and yet they are doing things. They are meddling with the things of God. Of course, I understand. But the fact that we have the fakes doesn't mean that there is no more original. Are we together? So if you now get to that point in your life where you now conclude that everything is fake, that can be a sign that God is not real to you. Because if God is real to you, the realness of God will help you to know that it doesn't matter how corrupt the system now becomes, there will always be the remnant. We will always still have the remnant. Are we together? And that's very important. Thank you, Father. Are you getting what I'm saying now? Uh-huh. So you don't have excuse. That's the burden for this, for what I'm trying to say this morning. You don't have excuse. Whatever it is that you are looking at is not an excuse. I'm in a relationship now. That's not an excuse. My house is very far. That's why I've not been consistent in meetings. I've not been fellowshipping with brethren. You don't have excuse. Are you there? This centurion could have given those excuses, but he didn't because God was real to him. So whether you are rich or you are poor, employed or unemployed, that's not an excuse. In school or out of school, whatever it is, it's not an excuse. These centurions could have just said, well, uh, send soldiers to go and bring Jesus. Are you there? He had many things to attend to. He had soldiers to command, soldiers that are waiting to receive instructions from him, the servant in his house who also wants to receive instructions from him, the king will need his attention, the other people will want to see him, many meetings, yet he ignored all those things. He came to see Jesus by himself. So if the centurion, as great as he was, could come to see Jesus by himself, who are you not to come? Who are you? The blessings of God are not to create excuses for us. They are to eradicate excuses. It's because whatever empowers you to give excuse is not a blessing. That's the truth. That thing is not a blessing. Because the more the excuse you give, the more you feel comfortable in your state. Anything you give excuses for, you will not change from. Anything you give excuses for, you will not change from. Anything you love to give excuse for, you will not change from. That thing you always have excuse from, you will never change from it. Never. So you have to be wise.